never going to amount to anything. You're a mistake. We've always told you that, and we meant it. You're never going to be good enough. Growing up, those words were never used in my house. Instead, I heard, Karianne, you're gifted. We are so proud of who you are becoming. You're such a unique blessing to us. Or my personal favorite often takes place at the breakfast bar when I'm talking with my dad, and he says, Karianne, I like you. The Midwest Center for Stress Control reported that every 2.5 minutes, the average American thinks a negative thought, whether it's, I'm not good enough, or I'll never be able to climb the corporate ladder, or my body's not the way it should be. This happens 300 times per day. So 300 times a day, people are thinking these thoughts, and after a while that can take a huge toll on not only your psyche, but your psyche affects your body, and so everything just goes downhill. In the next few minutes, I will be telling you about the physical, psychological, and emotional effects of negativity, the benefits of positivity, and overall the effects of affirmation. I grew up in a family that was all about affirmation. As I've told you, my dad is all about the empowerment of women and all about speaking words of truth into people's lives and empowering them to make a change. So that's been his life and his career, and my parents have been so great at affirming my brother and sister and I growing up, always telling us what we were gifted in and affirming us in that and encouraging us to really be the best that we could be. My parents understand the power of words. The summer after I graduated from high school, I worked at a camp called Camp Hope for at-risk kids who come from homes of domestic violence and child abuse. At Camp Hope, I learned the power of words. There were a lot of San Diego gang members who had been involved in really hard stuff who came to the camp, and even they softened up after hearing things like, hey, you did a really great job out there on the boat, or learning how to wakeboard and being affirmed in that. So they also understood the power of words. You might not work with any gang members or be involved with anyone in the inner city, but I think it's pretty safe to assume that everybody in this room interacts with human beings, right? Right. That being said, everyone, despite race, gender, sexuality, age, or social class, needs affirmation. Children are raised in homes often that don't know the power of words. Parents don't understand the way that their words can affect their children, and for this reason, children are suffering. Parents aren't affirming their gifts, so children are constantly striving to live up to unrealistic goals that either their parents set for them or that they set for themselves, and they're setting themselves up for failure. Also, when children don't know what their gifts are, they don't end up using them, and so they often end up abusing alcohol, tobacco, prescription drugs, looking for that fulfillment in ways that they will not find it. Children don't hear the words, I love you, and they don't understand that they're gifted and they have something to offer the world. This quarter, I'm in a psychology of personality class, which has been really interesting, and last week we were learning about unconditional and conditional regard. Unconditional regard is when you're loved no matter what. There are no hoops that you have to jump through. You're just loved, and it doesn't matter if you achieve or if you fail, you're loved. Conditional regard is the opposite. It says, get this grade and you'll be loved, or you're not going to be worth anything unless you achieve or unless you succeed in the work world. And so this has very harming effects, as you can imagine. The world is often overwhelming to look at, though, so let's just look at SPU. How many of you don't have to raise your hands because, let's be honest, we've all done this, have seen someone that was either on our floor, we've had a class with them, etc., and instead of saying, hi, how's it going? You just, I'm texting, to not talk to someone. I've done it, and Winslow's done it. We know Danny has. Everyone in this room has done that at some point or another. Someone has had a rough day, you see them, their tears flowing down their face, and instead of putting yourself in the situation to offer encouragement, we walk away and we pretend like we don't see them because it's easier than saying something. A couple days ago, there was a girl in my UCOR class. We were both late to class, and I could see that she had had a really rough day. And I'd never met her before, but I said, how are you doing? And she said, I'm not good. School is killing me, and I feel like I'm working so hard, and I'm not getting anywhere. And so I encouraged her a little bit and said, you know, we all have days like that. And during class, instead of listening to the lecture, I wrote her just a note of encouragement and told her about how her salvation and her identity and worth has nothing to do with whether or not she fails a test or anything. And as I handed it to her at the end of class, I had just learned what her name was. And so I handed her the note, and she kind of gave me this puzzled look, and I said, I wrote you a letter. And her face just lit up. And I don't know what her reaction was to it, because I haven't talked to her. But just seeing her face be so encouraged just spoke volumes about the power of affirming someone, because people want to be seen and want to know that other people at least recognize their pain, if not feel it. So at SPU, what are we creating by ignoring people or fake texting and this whole oblivion thing that we're creating? We're creating an environment where unfriendliness is the norm, and walking to Otto Miller, which is not even that far from anywhere on campus, is painfully uncomfortable. And we're creating an environment that is exclusive instead of inclusive, and is unloving instead of loving, and is isolating instead of inviting. And is that really what we want? There are a lot of health effects and benefits of thinking. There are definitely negative effects of thinking negatively, but there are also positive effects of thinking positively. There was a study conducted in 2005 that showed that encouragement actually improves your eyesight, which is really weird, but it does show that there are physiological effects to encouragement. And negative thinking has its effects also. Anger, insecurity, jealousy, anxiety all end up in high blood pressure, heart palpitations, weak immune system, and all of those things can eventually lead to weight gain, which is a whole new bag of issues, along with a severe risk of heart disease. So what do we do about this problem? How do we be people of affirmation and people of love and encouragement, and how can we make a difference? The problem is very overwhelming as we see brokenness all around our world, but the solution is thankfully very pay-it-forward-esque. There is definitely a sign that shows that positivity breeds positivity. Laughter is contagious. When someone says good morning to you on the sidewalk, first you're surprised because you think, I don't know you, why are you being nice to me? But then you realize, hey, they're just trying to be a nice person, you know? And smiling at a stranger, I love smiling at strangers. I love when strangers smile at me. And so that just goes to show that positivity is contagious. And I know that 100% of the people in this room have vocal cords. You have the lung capacity to say hi to someone, to say hi to a stranger, to say good morning, and make someone's day potentially, because it's a really rare thing to come by. There are many shapes and sizes that affirmation comes in. It can be verbal, it can be a note, a cup of coffee, just because. A World War I soldier, Claude Bristol, said, it's the repetition of affirmations that leads to belief. And once that belief becomes a deep conviction, things begin to happen. Understand the power of words, because what you say matters. If we don't start being affirming and positive, there's a cycle of criticism and negativity that is bound to continue for years and possibly generations. It breeds larger issues such as the health issues, emotional issues, relational issues that have been discussed. People start believing lies because of what is said to them, and we are responsible because we have the power to change that. If we do take action, I truly believe that the world will be a better place. We will empower people and bring about positive change. And if we do affirm, we will see the power of saying words like, you are enough, you are strong, you are loved, you have the power to change. What if someone said that to you? What if they meant it? Do you think that you'd believe them? So now that you've seen the effects and the scars that powerful negative words have left on people, and you know the benefits of positivity and the effects of negativity, equipped with that knowledge, I encourage you to affirm the people that are around you. And in your own way, write a note, smile at a stranger, say hi to a person that you met your freshman year, but you've always pretended that you don't know them. And be discerning about how to affirm people, and then do so without hesitation. Because there's no way of knowing the enormous impact that one kind word can have on a weary heart.